As the massive trucker protest continues in Canada, Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, still in hiding, tweeting this little gem. He said, and I quote, "Today in the House, members of Parliament unanimously condemn the anti-Semitism, Islamophobia, anti-black racism, homophobia, and transphobia that we've seen on display in Ottawa over the past number of days. Together, let's keep working to make Canada more inclusive," end quote. Now that's some desperation right there, throwing every worn-out ism at his critics, accusing them of being frothing Klansmen, all because they object to onerous COVID restrictions, as well as to mandates that have been destroying their livelihoods. These protests are also enjoying broad public support, so he had to try to throw the entire kitchen sink, heck, even some of the pipes under the sink, at his opposition. And by the way, if you actually take a look at some of the photos of the truckers and protesters, you'll see that many of them are in fact Sikh immigrants from India. The only way Trudeau is making Canada more inclusive is by bringing so many people together to support the truckers and to reject his empty woke nonsense. The good news is that while Trudeau obviously fails to get the message, others can sense which way the wind is blowing, and it's blowing away from government seizing more power and trampling on people's rights with destructive health emergency measures that aren't even helping. The Premier of Saskatchewan wrote a letter of support for the truckers and set a target date of this month to end vaccination requirements, saying they're no longer reducing the transmissions of the Omicron variant. And Quebec's Premier, surprised by the huge public backlash, dropped his plans to tax the unvaccinated. And it's not just in Canada. Freedom is breaking out all over as public backlash has grown against harsh COVID restrictions that have done very little, sometimes nothing, to actually reduce COVID deaths. Watching Trudeau spew all those empty isms and seeing that they no longer intimidate people into silence is one of the best pieces of news that Western civilization has seen in years. If for no other reason than that, those Canadian truckers have earned a big salute from everyone who cares about freedom of thought and speech, or limited government and the rights of the individual. Let's hope this moment is the last gasp of mindless, unscientific COVID compliance theater by our hypocritical elites.